Lovelies, it's Dee here from Golden Thread Tarot. How are you doing today? I'm here to bring you another channeled message. I hope this message is finding you blessed and full of abundance, as always, my sweets, okay? So, let's go ahead and get into it. And for this message, I was hearing perfectly imperfect. That's what I kept hearing, perfectly imperfect. So I was like, okay. Perfectly imperfect. Yeah, I feel like things are coming. It's like things are aligning. Like things are working out behind the scenes to align up for your highest and best good. Sometimes that way cannot look. Sometimes the pathway can be a little foggy. Sometimes the pathway can not exactly look like we thought that it would, or it can, but Spirit is saying, I am leading you in a direction to exceed your expectations. So trust and have faith in that, okay? Trust and have faith that Spirit is guiding you on a path that's going to exceed your expectations. Yes, Alder. Okay, so with this Alder right here, you are getting these messages from Spirit, and they're letting you know that a pathway, for some of you specifically, a pathway that you were walking down was dangerous for you, and this way that they're taking you down is much better, is much higher vibrational, it's much more who you need to be. Yeah, a personal issue is reaching resolution. So a pathway that you were choosing, or a line that you were walking down, see how this is like right here, it's like a wick, it's like here, it's like on fire. It's been severed by your spirit guides. It's been severed. Also, there might have been a situation that was brewing in the background that was like an altercation, all right, with this altercation that possibly could have been brewing in the background, that your spirit is like, I handled it, right? So you don't have to worry about it at all. So yeah, there is a resolution that is coming about in the background to that, and Spirit's like, we didn't even bring it to your attention because it didn't even need to come into your energy, right? It didn't get anywhere near you. I just heard that the intro to that Chris Brown song where it's like, how you gonna hate from outside the club? You can't even get in, right? Like, so that's Spirit, because Spirit is like literally showing me somebody who's like, it's like somebody who's like, and they're trying to get in. It's like, I see this like this big old bouncer standing there, and they're just like, nah, 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 and they're just like, no. Spirit said, they're like, let me at her, and they're just like, nah, you don't want this smoke, right? Because your spirit guys are like, look, you're not gonna mess with them. Who you're gonna mess with is us, and look, we got the smoke. Okay, you want it? Look, here it is, right? And it, spirit, yeah, your spirit guides are like, you just prayed about it, you released it, and they handled it. So Spirit said, let us handle it, so you don't have to take any of the drama or the karma or like any of that from that. Like, let us handle it, right? Let the universe handle it. Yeah. Rowan, so get out in nature, right? If you're feeling like you need to be inspired, get out in nature, spend some time outdoors, spend some time connecting, right? Yeah, because look at yes. And here with this Bracken card. Yeah. Especially if some of you like really connect to nature and talk to like nature spirits, or you have the ability to go out in nature and like you can touch leaves or you can touch trees and you can get like that kind of feeling and interaction from them, right? Spirit says, go ahead and do that. If you've been doing that, yeah, keep doing it, because there's a really big sense of like flora, like I'm hearing flora and fauna, which is like plants and animals, right? Flora and fauna. So I'm hearing a big push to really enjoy the outside, enjoy the weather, enjoy the fresh air, to be outside and just kind of, I'm seeing somebody like really like with this hand here, I'm seeing somebody really placing their hand down like on the ground or on moss. I see like a person, they're like, whatever it is, it's like, it's green, it's like squishy, and they're like putting their hands and like putting it, it's like sinking into it, right? So get outside in nature, get your inspiration that you need from it. If you're really being inspired, especially creatively, excuse me, by colors and smells and inspiration that you're feeling, and it it comes to you, like, just let yourself do it, right? Just let yourself do it. And Spirit is saying, don't worry about all the rest, because you're getting the Spirit guided messages, right? And they're like, let us handle all this other stuff, right? And you just work on, like, the high, right? There's a very balance coming in here between shadow and light self, right? A really big balance between shadow and light self. Spirit says I want me to pull one more. Yeah, there's also something very faded. You see that the red string there? There's something very faded that's coming to pass in your life as well right now. Look. Bramble with this 44. Look at the red string, right? And 44 for me is a big number of spirit guide protection, right? Okay, they're telling me they want me. This is the card they pulled this card. You want me to look that up? Yes. Okay, I'm gonna look it up and see. Oh, wow. I almost opened right to it, right? Just one page in front of it. So there's something about here. It's like the next page. It's like you're on this final page, right? So it's card 30, and I opened up on 29, right? So it's right before. I'm getting like not like they're showing me the number 9 now. So definitely like shifting timeline, shifting happening. Ooh. Carrying wands into the dream world, where they hunt the souls of locals in order to predict who will fall ill or die in the next year. Drawing this card is a sign that you two will have to make some big predictions soon. They'll have important effects on your life, so don't take them lightly. But don't take forever either, or someone may end up making them for you. Yeah, so Spirit is saying go ahead and make the decisions you need to make, or Spirit is going to end up making those decisions for you. So if you're feeling like there are decisions that you are kind of putting off, Spirit is saying go ahead and make the decisions so that someone else doesn't make them for you, right? Yeah. But definitely here with this bramble here, right? And bramble is about gathering your strength for the next part of your journey, or the next thing that's coming up here, right? Yeah, that's just so funny that they called that red string, right? There's a faded interaction that's happening here, and Spirit is just saying something was happening in the background. You might have been dealing with somebody sending you some energy, you know what I mean? Like some energy. Spirit is saying whatever happened, it was fated to happen the way that it did, but it was also fated for your spirit guides just to be like, nope, ain't got time for it. Like, look, and then what was on the back? Mustard, and that 29. That was what we opened up on, right? Your faith is like a mustard seed, right? It's small, let it grow over time. Also, it's giving me like Ace of Cups vibes. Interesting. Okay, let's see what else. Yeah, right? Oh, I saw that. Yeah, it ended up on the bottom. Your commitment was being tested. Or, yeah, like Spirit is saying, commit to this. Keep going. Keep going down your path, because you're right here at the end. So don't let any BS, like, stop you or hold you back. Like, any tower moments or anything that's happening right now, it's a fated event to happen the way that it is. It might have some confusion, or you might be like, I don't exactly see how this is going to help, or how this is doing what it's doing. It's shaking it up. But obviously it's what I need, right? Because trust your spirit guides, 44, they are around you at all times, helping you, right? Right? Bring love to the situation. Have more love and understanding for yourself. You are perfectly imperfect, and that's okay, right? It's okay if you have these moments where you're like, what? They're showing me somebody that's like, oh, you tested me. But it's like, it's okay to have those moments, right? But you bring it back together, right? And that's okay. Let's see what's on the back. It's time to take action. Yeah, exactly. It's time to take action. 2 cards. First card. Look at this. Full Moon in Capricorn, the end of a tough cycle approaches. Like I said, right? All this past energy is leaving. Excuse me. Excuse me. Can you get down, please? Yeah. Oh. Hey, sweet girl. Yeah. No. No, ma'am. Get down. Okay. Hold on just one second. Wow. And I stopped that. Sorry about that. But I stopped that right on 9:59, right? So changes, right? The 9 9s, right? Look at that. You're very close to achieving your goals. Like you're so close, right? Step out of that comfort zone, okay? North Node, because you're stepping into what, you're stepping into your power. You're stepping into your destiny. You're stepping into what you were really supposed to be doing. So Spirit said, don't, don't get all shaky, you know? Um, what? Yeah, okay. I don't know why they showed me this right, but they said you might be dealing with something that you're like this. I don't know why they showed me this. They just said you might be like, this is wiggity wiggity whack. Like this is whack. Like what I'm going through right now is wiggity whack, right? But adjustments were required, right? You needed to go through the changes that you're going through right now. That needed to happen, okay? So hold your vision, okay? Hold your vision. Just take time to breathe, right? And understand that just because some things are happening, you are good enough, right? You are good enough. You are perfectly imperfect exactly the way that you are, okay? So just take some time to breathe out. If your emotions start running, like, take some time to breathe out. If things are coming up, it's all part of the plan. So just hold your vision. Keep going for it. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, so distractions keep coming up. Understand that they're happening, when and where they're really supposed to. Oh, and I look down at my phone. It's 2:44 down on the real time clock right now, right? So you have like especially two spirit guides. You have really two powerful spirit guides. And I'm just being called to say too that for some of you I just did a reading for this like last night that I recorded. I haven't It's probably up now. Or if I'll remember to link it. About how you have a spirit guide from a soulmate energy that's coming into your life. The two of you, right? So both understand that both of your spirit guide teams are really protecting you and this fated event or this fated energy that's coming into your life. Um, that's being protected, that's being helped, that's being served, right? Confidence is key to your success, right? So stay confident in understanding that what is happening for a reason, right? Yeah, work through any kind of fears that you're having about it, okay? Yeah, work through any of your fears and keep having your confidence, right? Because I'm getting that something might have happened recently that kind of shook up your confidence and you're like, but Spirit is saying it was a necessary change, or it was a necessary thing that needed to happen, okay? Like it was past time for to happen, and now it's happened. Now you can move on, right? Now you can move on and start something new, right? This change up in energy, it needed to happen. So understand that it's okay, right? It's okay that it happens because it needed to happen. Yeah. The situation that you were in, right? Perhaps maybe Ace of Wands in reverse. Like maybe it was kind of, you're sneaking yourself out of some kind of ideas, or it's like keeping yourself small. Something that you were doing, some kind of mindset or something that you were participating in was keeping you small, right? Yeah, you need to expand. There is something that you need to learn. There is something else out there that you need to do, right? Spirit is saying that where you are being guided to in the new cycle that you're being guided to now, right, is going to really, yes, right? Wow. Okay, I was just about to say it's going to lead you to abundance, or it's really going to be very good for you, right? You needed the situation that you were in before was keeping you stagnant in a way that you didn't realize, or was just keeping you a little bit smaller than Spirit really wanted you to be at this time. So Spirit was saying that they had to kind of turn things upside down for you to see from a different perspective for a little bit. Or they had to, put you in this position where you were almost like backed into a corner. You're like, okay, I have to do this, or okay, I'm just gonna have to do this, or choose this, or do that, right? And Spirit was saying that's the push that you needed to see things from a perspective, and to kind of shake things up so that you can move forward in a new direction that's more profitable for you, right? Queen of Pentacles, right? That it's really going to help feed into your abundance. That's really going to, like, you have no idea. Like Spirit saying, you have no idea that the steps, it's like they're showing me like small steps. Like you have no idea that you've taken the first couple of steps down on a, like for some of you, you're like, yeah, I know I've really pushed myself to really go ahead and start this new energy, right? But for some of you, there's stuff working in the background where you're making little small steps or you're doing things and you don't even realize how, when you look back, you're going to be like, wow, that was the first few steps forward on this amazing journey that I'm on right now. And I'm so happy that I ended up making that decision. Or I'm so happy I took that call, or I'm so happy I took that opportunity, or I'm so happy I finally just did what I needed to do and changed up my energy, or I was put in a position where I thought I was walking down one path, or I thought I was doing this, but then I realized, okay, you know, I need to change it up, or I need to do something different. And that just completely unlocked this whole new set of abundance for you that you weren't even seeing before. So Spirit said, trust that. Look at this, right? Trust that love and that guidance that you're going towards, right? Because the sun. Yeah, there was something that Spirit was really asking you to do, but you weren't a big fan of it. But Spirit was saying what you were doing was not helping you out. It was not helping you out. It was really keeping you stuck in old past patterns. And look, what you're doing now, Ace of Cups. There's that Ace of Cups, right? Yeah. I'm hearing chamomile. Just one second. Sorry. Sorry about that, loves. Okay. But yes. Okay. I was hearing also too, I can't remember if I said it right before I had to go, but I heard chamomile when I was looking at this Ace of Cups. Okay, so some of you might be drinking a lot of chamomile, or they might Spirit might just be telling you try to stay as calm and relaxed and focused as possible right now. Okay, because whatever this energy is, right, it does not serve you. Also, for some of you, you might be having some negative, some like weird energy from like friends or family. Just let it go. Let it go and stay calm. You know, those people are like suffering from a lot of insecurity. They're really insecure about your look, about your balance, about your harmony that you have coming into your life, right? Devil card. So just let that go. Just let that go and move on, because it's cycles that don't serve you, right? It's definitely cycles that don't serve you. So that for some of y'all, that could be what's happening here. You could have had a fallout, or you could be moving away, or you could be you could have been having some issues with particular friends or family, or at a particular job, right? And that came to a head, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna have to quit, or I'm gonna have to move on, or I'm just gonna have to pull back my energy from that, right? And Spirit is saying, see that the path that you were walking down with this person or this place, right, it's not for you, right? It wasn't for you. You needed to see these people, these places, these things, right, as for the energy that they really were, right? But let your spirit guides handle it, right? Let your spirit guides handle it. Yeah, right? Because where the path that you were walking down was actually really blocking you from a lot of your abundance, and blocking you from a lot of the love and the light that Spirit wants to shower down on you, right? And so I'm also hearing, just gonna be honest, for some of you, it was like some stubborn energy. There was some kind of stubborn energy here where you were just like, I just don't want, like, I don't want to do that, or no, that's not what I want, or no, that's not, that's not that. Yeah. You could have also been dealing, this stubborn energy could have also been coming from outside of you as well, right? But Spirit just keeps trying to say, you were not seeing the fruits of your labor, right? You were not seeing this. You're putting all this effort in just to you weren't getting back what you deserved. There was not this equal give and take in this situation, right? And you had to relieve yourself of this situation because it was not serving you. The path that you're going down now is the path of your abundance, is the path of your happiness, is the path of your freedom, right? You are leaving this situation, right? You are leaving this tough cycle and ending it very passionately, right? And as you passionately run away from it, excuse me, right? This Ace of Wands energy is going to come back to you, right? Yeah. This is for a lot of you, this is about an energy that was around you. Like I said, whether or not this was, an influence from outside sources, or whether or not this, this was people, friends, places, something within. I feel like I feel like for a lot of you, there were some, I think it'll be a combination of both, right? It's something that you're getting, that you're like leaving outside of yourself because there was this really strong, like stagnant energy that was around you that was feeding into that into that stagnant energy from you. But I really feel like that's leaving, right? Yeah. It was keeping you juggling. It was keeping you going back and forth between really setting out on this new path. Wow. And it was 1959 on the clock again when I looked down, right? That 959. Be on the lookout for that number, right? Bring me another card for this. The end of a tough cycle is approaching, please. Look, the Empress. Okay, how much more abundant, right? Okay, you're leaving, right? You're leaving. For some of you, you literally could be moving or leaving or changing a location, and that's the truth, right? You found out the truth, right? The truth was whatever this mindset was, right? It was really defeating you, right? It was really you. It's like you were letting your stubbornness or your ego possibly even like come in and like hold you back, right? Or other people's egos hold you back, right? But you found your truth, right, exactly. It was really bringing you more stagnancy than you really thought that it was. And this is gonna, it's gonna, yeah. Wow, there's just so much you're leaving this situation, especially if the Eight of Cups comes out. Like, it's over with, right? And Spirit says they understand. You might have been just like, wow. And I'm not saying that it was all like toxic ego stuff, right? You could have really been like, I was really trying really hard and I wanted to make it work. But Spirit is saying you wanted to make it work a very certain way. And Spirit is saying that there is other ways out there. You're keeping yourself small. You're keeping yourself in a box, right? You are good enough. You had to realize that you do have the strength to learn to do this in a different way. You do have the strength to do whatever it is that you need to do, right? You are good enough. You are perfectly imperfect, and that's fine for Spirit, right? All Spirit has ever wanted you to do was just be yourself, right? Be truly yourself. Look, right? And when you do that, that's when you will align with this situation that is equal give and take, right? That's when you will align with the situation that with people, places, friends, jobs, that are putting you in a place where you can actually align with that energy, right? Right? Like I said, there was something more that you needed to learn. You're going to learn something. Like, I really feel like you're going to meet somebody, or you're going to meet somebody that's going to give you the opportunity to perhaps maybe take some kind of class or to do something like that, where you're going to be putting as, and it could even be something as simple as you make a decision to go do something or change up something, and you meet somebody that recommends like a certain book or a certain, resource to you, right? And you're like, oh, I do need to do that, right? And that's putting you closer into alignment with this self-love, self-acceptance, and this energy that's really actually going to be a lot more for you, right? Than the path that you were walking down beforehand, right? um yeah, because I'm getting a really big for you. A lot of it is going to be you changing your mentality, and as your mentality changes, that means that as you change the inside, right, the exterior reflects the interior, right? And as that mentality changes, as you take yourself out of that box, as you stop making those decisions that keeps you small, you are also it's also going to reflect in your job and your career and your friends and the people that surround you, right? In a way where you will just unalign with those things with those people who subscribe to the mentality of keeping themselves small, right? Or wanting you to stay small, and those people will naturally unalign with your life, right? Those jobs, because you are getting closer into alignment with what really resonates with you. So you are just going to naturally resonate towards things that make you more happy, towards things that give you that love, that light, that abundance energy into your life, right? So Spirit says, understand that whatever happened, whatever was happening, we're setting you up for the next stage to be very prosperous, right? We're giving you all of the equipment and all of the experience that you need to be able to very much so choose happiness, choose love, and have this incredibly abundant life here, right? And abundance comes in all shapes and sizes, you guys, right? This doesn't have to be just necessarily monetary wise, but also there is a big thing here for you. Okay. Yeah. Look at that stubborn energy, right? There's that Emperor in reverse. That's that stubborn energy, right? That stubborn energy of, no, I need to do it this way. It has to look a certain way. It has to be with a certain person. It has to come at a certain time, right? Spirit saying that mindset was keeping you blocked, was keeping you trapped. So here, right? It's time for you to make the choice. Wow. Look. 8 of Cups. Okay. Okay. Right. It's time for you to make that choice to have that new beginning, right? Yeah. Oops. And there is a big thing here about whatever this inspiration that you're going to get from nature, whatever that is, there is so much abundance there. So follow that, right? Whatever inspiration that you're getting, it's um, the keeping yourself small or keeping yourself like it has to look this way. It has to look this certain path, right? Like it's perfectly fine for, because I'm getting for some of you, you're like, okay, I want to do one certain thing and I want to just do that certain thing and just walk down that path, right? Because you don't want to look like you start something, then you stop it, then you start another thing, then you stop it. But Spirit is saying like you are a multifaceted being, right? So there are a lot of different ways, there are a lot of different avenues that you can walk down. And Spirit is saying we are slowly guiding you towards the things that really bring you that happiness and unblock that, right? And there is this sense of going to this place, or having this meeting, or reading that book, or consuming that content, or doing that creative venture, especially around nature. Like look, right, look how she's here out in nature, all surrounded. There is so much abundance there for you, right? There is so much, especially yes, love, and yes, happiness, right? And then look, even the Sun card, right? Look at all this out in nature, right? Look at all the out in nature, out in nature, out in nature, right? Being outside. There is some, it's a big, big thing for you, okay? So if you are being inspired by the natural world and things that you're seeing around you, allow that abundance to flow, because that's where that energy is coming from, right? Big, like Mother Gaia energy. Okay, let's see what this is. Oh, look, it's the star, right? There comes the recognition, right? There comes the, okay, wow, you're really doing it. And then look again, even more out in nature, right? More outside. And I said earlier something about being at the water. So something about being around water, being out in nature, moving to a place possibly where you could be more out in nature, possibly even moving to a different job sector, or moving out um to something else where you're out more in nature, where you're working more with your hands, or plants, or animals, right? Or something like that, right? There's something huge there for you, right? And I'm definitely getting like big past life energy off of this as well. You are good enough. You've done this before. Is what I'm like. You've done this before. You've done it in the past life, so you're tapping into that energy as well, right? Mm, right? New moons bringing in, it's like the end of the old cycle, beginning of a new cycle. Being honest with yourself about how you really did need to end this, right? Because it was keeping you small, it was keeping you stagnant, right? It was keeping you trapped in a little box. And on the other side of that, you have this freedom to allow yourself again out in nature, right? To really move on, right? And even here too. Look at them outside, you know? So that's a big energy for somebody here, okay? So if you were being guided to do, anything around that, go ahead and follow that dream. Go ahead and follow that inspiration. Go ahead and chase down that passion. Um, don't be scared to try new things. Don't be scared to, start a new side hustle. Don't be scared to be like, well, I've always, oh, my art's always looked like this, or I have always worked with this. But don't be scared to try something new, because I really feel like you're being guided towards it for a reason. It's in the back of your mind for a reason. It's something that you really like for a reason, because it really aligns with yourself and with your soul. And I really find, I really am getting like the impression that the the more you push into that, the more you're just gonna be like, oh my God, like this is it. Like I'm really finding it. Like this is it. Like and I really don't feel like it's in a completely different field. I really just feel like you're really honing in and specializing into, like, I feel like it's still in the same ballpark as something that you're already working on, right? Or a project you're already doing. It's just, you know, it's getting that concentration, right? It's writing out that particular thesis. It's, you know, it's okay. I'm picking the certain subject now. You're honing in and getting much closer, Spirit is saying. So they're really proud of that, right? So yeah, this energy was keeping you codependent, right? You also had some codependent energies that were around you, right? That's also some of the things that was keeping you stuck, right? Having these healthy boundaries in between this and this energy, right? Having some healthy boundaries between yourself and this energy, whether or not this is somebody else or whether or not this is an energy that's reflected inside of you. Because most of the time, if this is an energy that's in someone else, well, we're attracting it for a reason, because it's inside us as well, right? So having those healthy boundaries and becoming, right, that master, really honing your craft is what I'm hearing. Like really honing your craft, really getting down to the details of it is what Spirit is saying. Like, yeah. Apples. You might be doing something with like fruits or vegetables as well, okay? If you're trying to like work more fruits and vegetables into your diet, Spirit saying that that's going to be really beneficial for you as well. Or if you're doing something with fruits and vegetables, or with dietary supplements or something like that, yeah, Spirit saying, yeah, go ahead and walk down that path, right? Honesty, right? Honesty is so important. Radical self-honesty is required, right? Listen to your soul's truth, right? Your soul is speaking to you, calling you to do those things. What's that thing that gives you so much joy that the time just flies by whenever you're doing it? And Spirit saying you're being so drawn to that for a reason, right? There is a way that you can get the abundance that you need from that path, right? So trust and have faith in that. Look, the Star card came out again, right? Enlightenment. You're being guided through messages, signs, and dreams, right? You're being guided. The number 16 is really standing out to me right now. Separation. I need some space to myself. Please be patient, understanding. It isn't about you. It's about me. Yeah, so like again, separating, right? Separating, putting up those healthy boundaries. For some of you, this is people, right? And like I said, when you start realigning with that, you're gonna have to have this energy of, you know, I'm sorry, you just don't, you just don't align with me. And it's not about you, it's about me. I'm just walking down a new path, right? You might have some people projecting some energy of that. They could feel you pulling away, or they can feel the distance and your energy growing, and they're like, I don't like that. I don't like you being brand new, or I don't like you. Oh, you spend all your time now doing this project you're doing, and you're like, you're mad because I'm grinding? Like, what do you mean? Yeah, you're really aligning with the fifth. You're really not aligning with your higher dimensional self. And your higher dimensional self is giving you these tools that you need to manifest this abundance in for you, right? And to manifest this alignment with that energy in for you. Yeah, you're definitely doing some Kundalini awakening action, right? Really, I just heard yoga, so some of you might be really getting into like yoga routines as well. Divine protection, right? And that fell right here over this codependent energy, right? You're going to have to be honest with yourself about some people, places, things, and some of your own actions and some of your own choices that don't align with this new person you're trying to align with, right? It's also about us, eating certain foods, having certain habits, doing certain things, letting that go. So, right. So that we can align, right? Healing karmic cycles, right? So that we can align with healing ourselves. Wow. Twin flame fell out over here. So, so this isn't going to apply for everybody, but for some people, I've heard that like you are, you're not really resonating like really deeply with the twin flame journey anymore, or resonating, so, or like maybe perhaps you're not concentrating, right? This journey is moving more from concentrating on and to coming into union with somebody, and moving more into alignment with, I'm coming into alignment with myself, I'm coming into alignment with my truest self, I'm coming into alignment with this. It's not so much about chasing down the romance or chasing down the union or chasing down the relationship, right? It's about just being like, look, I'm just coming into alignment with myself, and that's how I'm finding this truth, right? Empath, right? Perhaps maybe you might be feeling extra sensitive because you are this empathic person, and you can feel these energies around you, or you can feel these people who don't want you to leave them, who don't want you to move on, who don't want you to concentrate on yourself, right? Well, make sure that you are try to stay positive and release any feelings that aren't yours, right? Don't let these people project that energy onto you and stop you from your happiness. Spirit is saying that what you are doing, right, is part of your destiny, is what you are supposed to be doing. Towers, right? Spirit is oh my gosh, look, I just said that, right? You're chasing down this, right? Chaser. There's that chaser energy, right? Tower. That this tower moments that are happening are unlocking this chaser energy, right? It's healing any kind of past karmic cycles that you might have been trapped in, right? Yeah, because you're chasing down your dreams. Look at that. Chasing down your dreams, chasing down this vision of yourself that you want to bring into fruition, right? Wow, this energy is all around you. Yeah, right? So this tower moments that are happening, or this tower moment that has happened, right? It's happened so that you can turn into this chaser energy in a healthy way, where you chase, instead of chasing after a mate, or chasing after a twin flame, or chasing after a soulmate, or chasing after a relationship, or chasing after love, you are chasing after yourself. You're chasing after your dreams. You're chasing after your inspiration. You're chasing after, your career goals, or your alignment. You're chasing after that in alignment with yourself, right? And Spirit is saying, yes, honey. Yes, honey, that is unlocking a healing karmic cycle for you. Like, absolutely, you're healing so much karmic cycles doing that. Yes, honey. Yes, surrender, because it's all part of the divine plan, right? Surrender. That's what you're realizing. You're realizing the whole time, I was good enough. I was compromising myself from, chasing after that person that didn't want me, or chasing after what, my parents or what my friends wanted for me more than I wanted for me. Or I was chasing after, chasing after something that really didn't align with myself, right? Or I was keeping myself small, or keeping myself in a box, or, saying that it had to look a very certain way, when the divine was trying to tell me the whole time, please, we are trying to show you the path forward, okay? Yeah. You had to do it this way. Spirit is saying you had to do it this way. It's fine. You're really surrendering and seeing that you were worth it the whole time, because whatever, there was something you were chasing after that was really putting this energy in you of, you weren't worth it. Like, I'm not worth it. Like, it wasn't coming in. So you were thinking, I must not be worth it. I must not be good enough, right? When Spirit was saying it wasn't coming in because it was divine protection. It wasn't supposed to happen, right? That energy, that person, that job, that something, that opportunity that you were just chasing after, or that relationship, that love, it would never have really given you what you thought it was going to give you, right? And that's why this tower came in. So you're having this moment where you're like, okay, let me realign, because I clearly was walking down a path that wasn't working, right? So let me take some time and realign with myself so I can get really back to who I want to be, because whatever I was doing was giving me this energy that it wasn't happening because I wasn't trying hard enough. And underneath that was, I must not be good enough. And Spirit saying they never want you to walk down a path that makes you feel like you have to try so hard, and makes you feel like you're not good enough, right? Things that don't work out for your protection, right? Rejection is divine protection. If a relationship doesn't work out, or somebody's not treating you the way that you want, or friends aren't being as close to you as you might want them to be, let them go. If that career is not taking care of you, or that, you came up for promotion again and you got passed over, Spirit is saying enough is enough. Stop giving so much to this energy and give to yourself, right? It was part of a soul contract, right? It was part of a soul contract. It was part of your destiny to go down this path, to walk down this, and to come into enlightenment. I feel like you've come into you see yourself so much more clearly, right? I feel like you, like, for a lot of your life, you saw yourself through other people's eyes, you know, or through, and Spirit is telling me that a lot of it was you saw yourself through the eyes of people who were triggered by who you really were, right? But so Spirit is saying that you're really aligning with something completely new and completely, like, so much different, right? Yeah. You had a really big psychic connection. Or, like I said, for some of you, you know, you've stopped chasing after. For some of you, this definitely does have to do with the twin flame journey. And you're like, look, I'm not chasing after my twin. I'm not chasing after love. If you don't want to love me, that's fine. If you're not for me, that's okay. That doesn't mean I'm not good enough. It just means you're not right for me, right? So for some of y'all, that's really coming through really strongly, right? And for some of y'all, it's a particular something. It's a particular, like, career choice, or it's like a particular path or a particular relationship, or you wanted something to be a very certain way. And Spirit is saying, like, look, that wasn't coming in. Yeah, this is something that you needed to heal from your childhood, right? That you needed to heal with this childhood wounding here, right? But you're separating yourself from this energy now, right? And because you're doing that, you're getting all these beautiful new beginnings coming into your life, right? That's gorgeous. So, I mean, that's just so incredibly beautiful, right? You have all these new beginnings. 3 more, Spirit saying 3 more. All right. So what direction moving forward? What should the collective be really focusing on moving forward, Spirit? Soul Tribe. Wow. So you definitely have some really beautiful Soul Tribe members coming into your life, okay? Yeah, Spirit is saying that when you find yourself, I don't want to say distracted in a negative sense, when you find yourself just doing your thing, just going along, just being on there, that's when it happens. That's when these soul tribe and soulmate members, that's when they come into your life. That's when they just appear and they manifest right when you need them to, right? Yes, right? Projection. So be mindful of your own projection as well, right? And but also be mindful of what these other people will project onto you, right? You know, is it them? Is it you? Or is it your or their insecurities, right? What is it really, right? So be mindful of this projection energy that you might be mindful of taking on, right? With that empath, right? Be mindful of the projection energy of what people are projecting onto you, and understand that that's not really you. So you know yourself. Spirit saying you know thyself. You are really you went through this whole process so that you can know yourself a lot better. So you can be aware of a lot more of your own triggers. So you can be aware of a lot more of your own projection issues that you might project onto other people, right? Or issues that other people might project onto you, right? That makes you feel like, well, that person says that I don't know what I'm talking about, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, right? That person thinks that I am this certain way, so maybe that is really how I am. Am I really that way? You know, is it them, is it you, or is it your or their own insecurities, right? Be aware of that. So Spirit is saying be aware of that projection energy, and don't take on those projections that other people place onto you, right? Especially as you're transitioning, right? As you're transitioning, you might even have people telling you that you're making foolish decisions, or that you're making, you know, if you have financial advisors telling you, might be a foolish decision, you know, listen to it. You know, I'm not, I don't trump them, right? But listen to yourself and know your spirit guidance, right? And you might have people in your life that are like, I don't see how you're going to make this work, or I don't see a way forward. It's not for them to see, right? It's your vision, not theirs. It's your dream, not theirs, right? You are being guided, right? Towards this. You might even be getting a lot of prophetic dreams. So be aware of the signs and symbols that you're of how you're being guided forward, right? Yeah. You're being guided towards mastering this energy for sure. One more. Okay. Oh, there it is. Yeah, divine blessing. You have this beautiful divine blessings coming, right? And it might come in many shapes and sizes. The divine works in mysterious ways. So be open. I'm getting too that you might have people around you that, like, with that truck passing by, it was so loud. I don't know if you guys can hear it. 4422, right? With 322 down on the real time clock. Yeah, 22, like, you might have had a lot of messages coming in around you, around, like, you might be seeing 22 a lot, or like the 2222 portal that we just had, right? You might be having, that's really unlocked a huge new pathway for you and a huge new blessing for you, right? So allow the towers to cause what happens and kind of just try to stay calm and see through any of the chaos, right? Allow things to shake out and allow things to realign for you, right? And on the other side of it, you are gonna see where you need to be going, right? Yeah. Sometimes, right? Sometimes this energy right now can be kind of, you know, but it's the beginning and the ending of a new cycle, right? Draw from the power of the void. You should use this time to recharge and ground yourself. Endless new possibilities, right? So this little in between time while things are shaking out and things are aligning, like, just ground yourself, right? And really unblock any of these energies, or unblock any of these creative energies or anything that, like, spirit saying, we're handling all the rest of it. We just need you to focus on you, right? Trust that we are aligning things up in the greater scheme of things for you. You just need to do your part of the work, right? And you're already doing it, right? So just trust and have faith and have belief on that, and don't allow other people not seeing your vision or not seeing you, or because people are going to project that energy onto you because they're used to the old you. They're used to the way you used to think. They're used to the way that you used to be and how that aligned with who they were, right? But you don't anymore, right? So that might come, you might lose some friends, you might lose some family, some closeness with family members. Understand that you have soul tribe members coming into your life, and if this is happening, spirit is saying, like, I'm not saying this in a way where it's just like, oh, people are replaceable. That's not what I mean. But spirit is saying, like, sometimes some people that we no longer vibe with will fall out so that people that we do vibe with can come in, right? And I really feel like a lot of you will see when these new soul tribe members come in, you will see how much you're just like, yeah, I should have let that old cycle go, right? But I have now, and I'm really happy with these new friends and these new family, these new people, this new job energy around me, like, and those that really are there for you and really care about you, they will celebrate with you, right? And those that see you more as a means to an end for themselves, or just they're more preoccupied with you being a certain reflection for them, or they're more preoccupied, it's less about the people that will fall away. Will be people that I don't want to call them exactly users. Some of them could be, right? But it will be people that it wasn't about your connection. It was about what you meant to them. And now that you're changing, that changes and they don't like it, right? So those aren't the type of energies that you actually want to call friends, or that you actually want to be, like, really close with, right? Because it isn't about your connection. It isn't about you, who you are, them just appreciating you for who you are as a person in the relationship that you have, right? It's more about what purpose you serve to them, right? And those will be the people, and those will be the careers, and those will be, the people, and the mindsets that are falling away from you. So don't be scared, right? Because when those people fall away, Spirit says, we understand it's what you're used to, right? But you're learning how to accept new. How you're learn how to accept that it is really about this equal give and take. You are good enough, you know, exactly as you are. You don't need to fake it, or you don't need to have these people around you that see you in a very certain light. That isn't about actually recognizing who you are and recognizing your value for who you are, right? It isn't about allowing these types of people or this type of energy to stay around you, right? And that includes having this energy inside of yourself. Okay? Thank you so much, my loves, for being here with me today. I really appreciate it. Sorry for all the interruptions, or if there was some jump cuts where I edited some of the interruptions that I was dealing with. My bad, but I definitely feel like, you know, it's very indicative of what's happening right now in your life. It's a big indication that there were some people, some places, some things, some mindsets inside of yourself, some habits inside of yourselves that were really kind of slowing you down or keeping you kind of like, you know, taking like those little steps, but it's okay. Everything's all working out now. And now you're really seeing your own worth. And now that you're recognizing that inside of yourself and you're aligning with that, now spirit can bring you that job, you know, that appreciates you and takes care of you. You know, now spirit can give you, can lead you into that career direction that feels great, that doesn't feel like work, and you have the abundance that you need to, you know, to support yourself and support your family. Now you can have those really supportive, kind people around you that isn't just about what you give to them, but it's also about the equal exchange of your relationship, right? They can bring those relationships, they can bring those friendships, they can bring those people that feel closer than some family members might have made you feel in the past, right? They can bring, and now that you're clearing that energy, they can bring out this just beautiful abundance energy into your life, right? So don't allow, in this transition, don't allow other people's energies, or don't allow other people, you know, those negative people will project that, oh, you're new now, or you're brand new now, or you're something different now. Like, yeah, I am. And it's okay. Allow that energy to fall away and just to allow yourself to become who you truly are, right? You don't need to be a certain, to be or look or act or talk or dress a certain way for anybody else. Do what you want, right? All right. I'm wishing you so much good luck moving forward, okay? Thank you so much for being here with me. As always, if you're not subscribed to the channel, think about subscribing to the channel, okay? Let me know down in the comment section down below if this resonated for you, all right? Um, Big thank you ahead of anybody who is just here. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you're here making it all the way to the end of the video, and however much of a video, I appreciate the interaction. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the subscribes. I appreciate the shares and everything that you guys do. I really I just really love you guys so very much. Okay. And of course, a big thank you to anyone who feels called to donate or tip to the channel, or if you feel called to contact me for a personal reading. All the information for that is down in the description box, as well as any of the cards. If you're interested in any of the decks that I use, those are always listed down in the bottom of all my description boxes as well. All right, lovelies. I hope this brought the love, light, and clarity that you were really looking for, okay? And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.